okay. Really apologize for the technical issues. Not sure what is happening. Not sure what's happening. So, thank you so much for bearing with us for the last 6 minutes while we try to really work things through. So back to the interview, back to Career Champions. Career Champions is a series of inspiring interviews with people who with people who follow their passions and created a successful career that they love. The Career Champions was created in order to showcase, the careers of, your next door neighbors, people that you meet, they don't need to be like highly successful in the covers of magazines. You don't need to be in the covers of magazines to be successful in your career. So this is people that I've met throughout my career, throughout my life. And these are people that inspire me because they've built the careers of their dreams. They went for it, they follow it just like as I do. They will come here and give you, their story. They will tell you their story and how they've created the successful career that they have, and how it is like to work in the profession that they do, because everyone that I have interviewed and will be interviewing in future, they all have a very different career paths. So my name is Lucia Pestana. I am a HR professional and a career coach. I've been working in HR for the last 9 years. Things that I have accomplished within my career is setting up a department from scratch, working with investors in people, and as well being shortlisted for Best HR in Caterer Hospitality Awards in 2016. I absolutely love what I do, but careers, they do fascinate me. So, my motto is do what you love and love what you're doing. And today we have someone that, really epitomizes that. And today we have Joanna Kardzis. So Joanna is a HR professional as well. We have actually met while doing our HR training. We actually worked in a group together. So that was really cool. And Joanna is actually one of the people that I follow her career because I admire her spirit, her tenacity, and obviously, I love what she does in terms of HR and personal development as well. So, Joanna, welcome to the Career Champions. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Hello, and thank you very much for having me. I was so surprised when your invitation came. I said, "Oh my God, what is this all about?" is the real world? People are seeing me this way. Please believe me, I was really, really surprised. But thank you very much for letting me to share my story.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So, Joanna, you were meant to be a neurosurgeon, and can you tell me a bit of how that started and how did you get into HR?
Yes. So, I have never planned to be where I am now. Never ever planned. So we need to go back, to late 90s when I finished school and have, no plans for my life. I always knew, I believed I can be a neurosurgeon, but never believed in myself. And, at the time, I didn't have any people around me who could put me to the right direction. So maybe I start with that I was never academic. And obviously, if you go to the medical school, you have to be academic. I was never academic, but it was something I believed in, at the time. I'm going to say even more, I was rubbish at school. So, left school. And at the age of 19, I decided to go to the university because I had nothing better to do. So I studied pedagogy for 5 years. Obviously, after getting my master's degree in pedagogy, I realized that I love learning. I love learning new things. So I found postgraduate studies in speech therapy and voice emission. So studied another 2 years. And then found specialization I was passionate about, and it was neurospeech therapy. I know it's close to neurosurgery, but not neurosurgery, but it was better than nothing at the time. So obviously, after getting my diploma, I had many things in my head, but I had no business knowledge. So I decided to found my private speech therapy practice. But obviously, to be able to keep that business going, I had 2 other jobs. So I was jumping, from one job to another, sometimes finishing night shift, going to the other job. And I managed to do that for 2.5 years, and then said to myself, it's time for change. So I decided, just overnight, I decided to go to the UK. I don't know what I was thinking of at the time, because I almost didn't speak English at all. So, my English skills at the time, it was something like, how do you do? How are you? And it was all. I couldn't hold a conversation. But, I said, okay, let's see how it goes. So on the 27th of September, 2007, I landed at London Gatwick. And, at the time, it was very easy to find a job without English skills. So I had short period of time when I was working at the nursing home, and then found a recruitment agency, and next day ended up in the biggest honey factory in the UK, or one of the biggest honey factories in the UK. And I think from that day, all the fun, began, as they say. So, I started working at the lowest level, at the production line, with little pen and piece of paper, learning English word by word. I was really determined. So, after 2 years, I saw an ad on the advertisement board that they are looking for KPI administrator. So I said, okay, let's have a go. Let's see how it goes. And you know what? I got this job.
Wow.
Yes, I was surprised, as you are. I was really surprised. I ended up at operations, department. And, after a few months of doing daily reports, production reports, I saw another ad. They were looking for a part-time HR assistant. And I thought, I didn't know anything about HR at the time, but I thought, my job is not that busy. Maybe if I get it, I can share that time between, operations and HR. I went for it, and guess what?
I got the job.
Yes, it was busy, at the time, switching between 2 departments, but it was achievable. But, one of the milestones in my career, it was the time when my operations manager and HR manager, they took me to the room and they said to me, Joanna, I think it's time to think about your future, because, in that KPI admin role, you are not really gonna grow. There is no room for growth. Think about what do you want to do. So, I decided to move to the HR department full time, and stayed there, from 2010 to 2016. So in the meantime, had 3 different HR managers. I did my CIPD qualification. I've been promoted to the HR advisor role. And, many things happened. And also, at the time, my younger son was born. So when I returned from maternity, I had to make a big decision. I just realized that corporate work is not for me, because at the time I needed some flexibility, to see my children, to get on with my life. And obviously my company couldn't accommodate that. So I had very, very interesting and quite hard chat with my manager, who told me, okay, Joanna, I understand, you do a fantastic job as HR advisor, but you won't progress, because there is a skill gap. you know what? I took that feedback on board, just slept on it, and next day left notice letter on her desk.
Wow. And what brought you to do that?
Do you know what? I just believed, probably for one day, that she is right, that this is not job for me. If there is a skill gap, there is a skill gap. End of story. I'm gonna get on with my life. I'm gonna, look after my kids at home, and let's see what's gonna happen. But the next day, I thought, hold on, you are gonna, you start spending time with your children. Maybe it's also time to do something for yourself. So this, 2.5 years I spent at home, it all went crazy. I was studying HR, every single subject of HR, every, employment acts, everything I could get. I was doing so many courses, like consultancy courses and management, leadership, everything. And in 2018, I decided it's time to find new job. And do you know what? I had 2 unsuccessful interviews, which I really needed unsuccessful interviews, because they show you what gaps you have in your knowledge. So after having, 2 unsuccessful interviews, I've been successfully appointed to the role of recruitment and HR manager with my little company, Mumby's Home Care Support. I'm really proud being part of this team. So who we are. Mumby's Home Care Support is a live-in care company. It's a family business on the market since I think it's 18 years now. It's run by a team of fantastic people. So what we do, we provide live-in care to help people, mainly elderly people, to stay independent at home.
Oh, wow, that's incredible work.
Yes, we have people who speak 20 different, carers who speak 20 different languages. They are from 4 different continents. And, I think that the Mumby's Home Care Support is the company who believed, yes, this girl can. And I'm really grateful for that, I'm really grateful that I took that risk. I follow my heart, because yes, I crossed the line. But sometimes if you don't dare cross that line, you are gonna stare at that line for the rest of your life. And it's
so looking back, do you think that the decision of quitting your job, focusing on your family, was the best decision you ever made?
It was because it was not also focusing on my family, but realizing what I really want. And from that day, I knew that HR is for me. I know maybe it's late, I'm over 40, but it doesn't matter. I found my profession.
You mentioned that life starts at 40 in your bio. So what does that mean for you?
You know what? It's never too late to start something else. If you decide that you wanna find different career, and if you are really, really committed to it, if you are focused on it, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You just need to, remain positive all the time. I was always positive. This is the way I choose to see the world.
Wow.
I am positive, and no one is gonna change it.
That's incredible. That is really incredible. That is really incredible, and thank you for sharing. It has been a tremendous journey for you, and obviously you are super passionate about, and I absolutely love your dedication to developing yourself, because I remember following you all of this time and seeing you studying having all the qualifications, certifications in HR, while you were at home looking after your family, which it's such an incredible achievement, because personally I don't envy any person that is now any mother that is now at home looking after their children and homeschooling. I saw it for myself yesterday, as I visited a friend, that is hard work. You know, that it takes really hard work, dedication, commitment, and to be looking after your family and studying and you know, going for your dreams. It's such an accomplishment. You know, I'm really, really, you know, I really, really admire you for doing that. It's incredible. Thinking about now, I mean, COVID times, you know, COVID-19 lockdown. How has this affected your job, your career, and everything?
Yes, you know, in terms of my company, yes, it has affected us in some ways. We had to adapt, you know, to new policies and procedures. We, you know, even now we have to make sure that our clients are safe and also our carers are safe. And all we need to think about is, you know, people's mental health at the moment, because it's very hard time for them. But, you know, in terms of operation, we are still operating and we are not that affected. The only thing that changed for us is that, you know, before lockdown, we were able to move carers between the clients. With the lockdown, it's not that easy. They just stay with client, you know, sometimes weeks, sometimes for months. And in terms of the office, you know, some of us are working from home, some of us working from office. We just switch between, you know, home and office. But as I said, you know, this company is incredibly supportive and helpful. And for them, it's no problem, you know, if people need to work from home. That's the flexibility I was looking for.
That's incredible. I mean, I think more companies should support their employees to work from home, especially because, I mean, if anything that COVID has taught us is that you can do a lot of things from home, and that doesn't mean that you will be less productive. Actually, I think that people actually become a lot more productive when working from home because, you know, the commitment is different. There is less distractions as well, yes. You know, and, you know, I think people need to be understanding of that. And I think, you know, if there is a lesson that people can take from this experience is to obviously make sure that they understand, you know, that thing. Perfect. My next question, if you were to give some advice to anyone who would want to pursue a career in HR,
yes,
or any career, what advice would you give to them?
To people, what would I say? The first thing, the most important thing is people should believe in themselves, okay? They should learn from mistakes. Obviously, you learn, you make mistake, and you learn again. They say, for example, if you don't fail 90% of your time, it means that you are not aiming high enough. And I absolutely, you know, put my signature on it. So you need to think about that you have one life, and, you know, how do you want to spend it? You know, you should be brave. You should go for it. And the most important thing is never ever, and I'm saying this from my perspective, because, you know, I've been told, and it was one of the challenging moments in my careers, I couldn't even believe that I heard word coming out of the HR professional, you know, mouth. I've been told that I will never get to their level. It was hard, but you know what? Never ever let anyone to decide for you what you can or you cannot do, okay? They say, you know, the sky is the limit. Yes, but you need to remember that you are the pilot. You are, you know, you are the pilot of your life, and you can do anything. If people don't believe in themselves, I always say, you can do anything, but you have to have plan in your head, okay? And there is, you know, if I can close that advice with something to, you know, you can think of later, is a quote about dandelion. which says the dandelion doesn't stop growing because was told it's a weed. The dandelion doesn't care what other people see because it says one day they start, making wishes upon me. And this is absolutely what I believe in. And I know that many people, also me, gone further than they could because other people believe that they could. So believe in yourself, people, because you can do it.
Oh, that is very good, solid advice. And yeah, it is. I mean, it's good that people believe in you, but first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself, because there will be those people that will actually try to stop you. And for someone to say, so HR, I mean, we both work in HR, and for a HR professional to be able to say to anyone, that you will never achieve anything, or that you will, that you will not, have the same position as I do. To me, it just sounds like, I think they might be in the wrong career, or they might be in the wrong job, because, working in HR is about empowering people, is about, helping them follow their dreams, is helping them follow their career, their prospects, their once you empower an employee, I mean, you look after an employee looks after your business.
Absolutely.
And shutting someone down is like,
yes.
It's almost like
yes.
you're inviting them to leave, which is not very empowering. And to be honest with you, it hurts me to think, that there will be people in HR thinking that way. But sadly enough, I witnessed that. I witnessed that across my career. Even when I was not working in HR, I've witnessed a lot of people, shutting other people down, and that's very sad. That's not what we promote here. We do promote people to follow their dreams.
Yes.
We promote that people are encouraged to follow their dreams, because if they do, any company that hires them will get the benefits from it.
Absolutely.
An engaged employee is more than anything.
Absolutely. I learned over the years, obviously listening to all the people who are wiser than me, on this subject, because, yes, I have 10 years of experience, but I still think I am at the beginning of my journey. It's not, the middle of my journey. It's still the beginning. So what I learned over last 10 years, what's the most important? You don't build a business. You build people, and then people build the business for you. This is all,
Absolutely.
This is all about leadership, okay? So, leadership, from one hand, leadership is not about you. Leadership is about other people and showing them that they are incredible, and then they gain confidence in themselves. So leadership is about other people, because leader, deliver results through other people. But from the other hand, leadership is about you. It's all about you, who you are, and how you behave. You have to lead by example, and then people will follow you.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Leading by example is the only way forward. Being a manager is cool to have a title, but it's not.
Yes, it's not about the title. We can have. This is maybe advice to millennials. You can see that they jump from one job to another because they are looking for their career. But that's the advice. It doesn't matter. You can have all the qualifications in the world, but if you don't have people skills, you won't succeed. And also, you can be the best in what you do, but you won't achieve success without your teammates. Don't ever think that you are the person who is working the hardest because I am the hardest working person in the room. That's not true, because other people, they have other ways to work, and they also work hard to to the company success.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 100%. So I know that you've done something really fun last year with your son. You did some skydiving. You know, it shows that you are a bit of a daredevil.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with us? You know, what did you do, and how was it, your experience?
Okay, so the purpose of that was my son's 18th birthday. So I thought, let's do something crazy. Let's go skydiving. So I decided again overnight. I booked us in. I didn't know what I'm signing up for, to be honest. You never know what to expect. So, you know, it was all the excitement on the day, you know, a little training, and suddenly you go up there, okay, with other people in a little Cessna plane. And then someone shouts, door, and, you know, the door open, and it's all that noise. You can see people just vanishing one by one. You can see your child vanishing, you know, and you think, oh my God, what I was thinking of, what I'm going to do. But I don't know why. I told you before that interview, I was more nervous before that interview than before making that jump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. But today I know if you don't jump, you won't fly.
That's so true.
My experience was absolutely fantastic, and I strongly recommend, you know, to people to have that experience. You cannot even explain it. You are just, you know, overloaded with sensory, with emotions. You feel, you hear, or actually you don't hear because it's so noisy. It's so noisy, you know. You just go from, I think, 10,000 feet, 150 miles per hour. You just go to the ground. And you think, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was fantastic. I really, really recommend, you know, for people who just want to try, who want to have that experience, or who want to do something to, you know, to overcome their fears. I know that I will do it again. My son said, Mom, thank you very much for that experience. It was once in my life, no more.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I mean, I can see you are a lot more daring than he is. Wow, that's really, really cool. And Joanna, so, you know, 10 years in HR, how is your future and your career looking like for the future? Where are your future plans?
You know what? It's hard to say, because I was 10, or I am 10 years in HR, and I made very, very recently a discovery, okay? So as I said, you know, I listen to wiser people, to all entrepreneurs, or people who give, you know, motivation speeches or stuff like that. I came across an author, Simon Sinek, okay? And his book, I have this book with me, Start with Why. You know, how great leaders inspire everyone to take action. And after reading that book, I realized that I had wrong approach to the business for 10 years. Because in the business, it's not important what you do, but it's important why you're doing it, okay? So, you know, following that logic, have you ever thought about, you know, giant companies that they may do the same products, they may offer the same services, they have, you know, the same consultants, the same talented people, and some of them are very successful and some of them are not successful at all. And some of them can repeat success all and, you know, over and over again. Do you know what's the key? The key is, this is all Sinek says in his book. The key is that all the companies who are very highly successful, they communicate in the same way. But this is the different way, opposite way to everyone else. They start with why. So if I need to summarize, for example, my HR career, I wouldn't say, it all starts with passion. Passion, this is something you cannot describe in words. Even you are waking up, one day and say, you know what, I could do this job for free, but you have someone who is paying you for doing what you love. So as I said, all starts with passion, but people have to know why they are doing things. So I don't work in HR because I have passion for people, but I have passion for people, which answer my question why. So I choose career in HR, which answer my question what. If you don't know why you are doing this job, you will never know how to do it. You will never know how to do it. Big part of my job is recruitment. That's one of the biggest challenges these days, because I remember we had that conversation very recently when you said that people applying for 100,000 different jobs, they don't even remember that they applied with you. They are applying for different roles at the same time, even at the same company. But I think this is all about motivation. We shouldn't hire people for skill. We should hire people for motivational fit. We should hire people who believe in what we believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, people think that many companies, oh, people are motivated because they are showing for work every day. That's not really true. No. Great companies do not hire skilled people to motivate them, but they hire already motivated people to inspire them. So unless you give your motivated people something to believe in, they will motivate themselves to find another job, and you will be left with, whoever is left. So it's not worth taking that risk.
And in terms of your own career, I mean, finding your why, has been paramount for you. What are your future plans?
I have many plans in my head. Okay, many plans, but this is just planning at the moment. It's not about saying that I'm gonna leave this company in one day. I may or I may not. Because as I said, I work for a fantastic company, the company who is outstanding. There is 144 care agencies in Oxfordshire, but we are rated outstanding, and we are employer of the year. And I think I have something to do, because I believe what they believe. And I think this is what set us, apart from other care companies who do exactly the same. We believe in what we do, and
it's incredible.
We will be successful, and I know that. That.
You mentioned as well that you're going to also you're going back to study.
Yes, I decided to found my next level of my CIPD. I never done it, I never had time, life, kids, work. But as I said, this is not about qualification, but I want to have it. Mm-hmm. I want to, explore, nurture HR world.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yes, to be just, better professional and better person.
Yeah, that is incredible. I mean, I love your dedication to education and to always bettering yourself, and always working towards, the next title. Maybe your next role will be HR director, which, by the way, I have no doubt that you would be amazing at it.
Yes, thank you. But as we both know, and other people also know, it's not about the title. It's about, who we are, who you are. It's about
how much you impact as well.
Absolutely. Because, yes, I could go. After 2 years, I could go. But I still think, working with my team, I have fantastic bunch of people. fantastic people, younger people, people in middle age, a little bit older people. That's fantastic. Fantastic. And I think that we can make a difference. We have our, ups and downs. There is no company that is, 100% perfect. But, we make mistakes, we learn from mistakes, and we are getting better and better every day.
Absolutely.
We try.
Absolutely. 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 And for now, I don't think I have any more questions from you. Rather than, what advice would you give to anyone coming out of school
Mm-hmm.
And that is applying for jobs or applying for 100 jobs?
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to them from a recruitment perspective? What advice would you give to them, on how they should handle their approach to recruitment? Because, I find that it's becoming harder and harder because, you get about 1,000 applications for one job, where there is no skills match, there is no interest, people just looking after the paycheck,
Yeah.
How would you advise people when they are applying for jobs? What advice would you give to them?
You know what? If we talk about young people, I think that, getting apprenticeship is the best way to start your career. There is many, for example, HR apprenticeships. Okay. But what I just noticed from recruitment perspective, people are applying for jobs. They don't even have CVs, up to the standard, or they don't have CVs at all. They have, some gaps in employment unexplained, and obviously in our area, in care sector, this is very important that, we are dealing with people. We are sending someone who we believe is going to look after our client. So we have to have, all the gaps, all the DBS checks done. Everything has to be explained. So I think that people should focus on what they want to do, if this is really job for them, or they just want to work for paycheck. Take some time, do some research, prepare, put together, great CV, even, application forms. I think every company has application form. And sometimes you just take application form and you see if people put, so much effort in it and they really want that job. It's the same with communication. People just disappearing. But people who really want this job, they keep in touch. They are sending you, all the forms completed almost immediately. They are just committed to it. So as I said, yes, having some skills in this profession, in care profession, for example, is important. Because you cannot really send, young person to the client and say, oh, this is your problem now, just deal with it. It's unfair. So you have to have some skills, but skill, this is something you can teach and they can learn. But they have to have right motivation and they have to believe in what we believe.
Absolutely. That's really, really good advice. And thank you for that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Just to let you know, everyone, so next week we have another 2 interviews coming up. We will have Deborah Lucy, who is public speaker. She created the conference Women Who Dare to Desire, where I spoke at. She's also has the Writing Academy for Entrepreneurs, where she teaches people how to write for their business. We will be interviewing Deborah on Tuesday, and then on Thursday we will also be interviewing Ana Luisa Tavares, who is wedding photographer. She is incredible in the work she does, and you will get to hear a lot more from her and about her travels, all the weddings she did, and especially one thing that she does a lot, which is proposals as well, all over London. So stay tuned for next week for the Career Champions. Also, if you are a career champion and you would like to be interviewed by me and share your story, do get in touch. I would love to hear from you. I'm always curious about your career. Where did you come from? How did you realize that this is what you wanted to do? I'm always very curious about that. So, get in touch. And if you like what we are doing here, if you like the stories that we are sharing with you, share it with your friends, share it with your family, even share it with your enemies, because what we do is we want to inspire you to have a job that you are fulfilled in. You spend at least a third of your day working. Make it count. Make sure that you do something that you love. And if you're not doing something that you love what you're doing in the meantime until you get it. Yeah. So for today, thank you again very much, Joanna, for taking part. Thank you all for watching. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and be awesome, be inspired.